Bitcoin has been up by over 200% since 1 year and by 50% since the beginning of the year. So will it continue to grow at the same speed in 2024 or will it be a short-lived trend? This is going to be the question that I'll be answering in this video, but first, let's quickly recap what the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are. Bitcoin is officially the world's first cryptocurrencies created between 2008 and 2009 by the famous Satoshi Nakamoto. But a fun fact is that the real Satoshi Nakamoto has testified that he wasn't even the real founder of the Bitcoin, and so it makes that the real founder of it is still unknown up to this date. Nevertheless, from its modest early beginnings, where we've seen that one guy had the audacity to sell 10,000 Bitcoins for only 2 Papa John's pizza, or if you prefer, the equivalent nowadays of $700 million for 2 pizzas. I hope that these pizzas were worth it. And over the last couple of years, we've seen that this cryptocurrency that has fluctuated a lot in terms of value has now become the world's largest one and the most traded one, where it's currently worth over $1.3 trillion. One of the main characteristics of Bitcoin is the fact that it is considered as a decentralized crypto. This means that this crypto, unlike the US dollars, isn't controlled and regulated by the central banks, but instead their programming code and their monetary policy is controlled and regulated by their own community. And so this means that all the financial regulation authorities that we know have no control on these types of currencies, which means that this could become eventually a real threat for them. Add to this, another characteristic about the Bitcoin is that it has a certain limited amount which will never surpass 21 million Bitcoins. And so in that way, it makes sense that, as we'll see later on in the video, this type of currency will be more scarce compared to the US dollars, for example. Plus, on your side, if you wanted to start earning a little bit of Bitcoin every single day, the process of doing so would be called the Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is simply a process where you verify the transactions on the Bitcoin blockchains by a series of mathematical calculus and where the miners are rewarded by a portion of the Bitcoin. In the early 2010s, it was easier for the miners to mine Bitcoin because there wasn't as much as there are currently on the market. However, right now, since there are currently already 19 million Bitcoins that are available on 21 million, it obviously makes that it is way harder for the miners at the moment. In fact, it is predicted that the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140, and so it makes that with more competitions, the miners at the moment needs to mine the 2 million Bitcoins that are left in over 115 years compared to the 19 million Bitcoins that have been mined over the past 15 years. It is why nowadays Bitcoin is considered by many analysts as some digital gold because it is pretty scarce, and some analysts even believe that Bitcoin would be a pretty great edge against the inflation. Unfortunately, at the moment, this last hypothesis has yet to be proven. However, another important point about the Bitcoin that is often negatively talked about is that we don't currently have any ways to evaluate what is the true intrinsic value of it. In fact, compared to other companies that will come out with different quarterly earnings to present their financial results, well, with those companies, we are often able to use the financial results to evaluate what is their true intrinsic value and to make some projection on the true value of it for the future. But in the case of Bitcoin, we don't have any of those. Obviously, we could try to use different estimates to try to find what is the true value of it. For example, the fact that the Bitcoin currently worth about $1.3 trillion of valuation, we could try to compare it with the current US dollars valuation of about $2.26 trillion. But the fact is that currently the Bitcoin isn't as used as the US dollars for different international transactions, and at the same time we keep printing every single day new US dollars, so it makes that it isn't a good base to evaluate what is the true Bitcoin value. Another way where we can try to find what is its true value would be to find what is the conviction of all the Bitcoin holders. By taking a more behavioral approach, this would show the underlying conviction of long-term versus short-term Bitcoin holders for clues to Bitcoin's value. value. At the same time, this approach wouldn't be the best since it will be impacted by the two extremes value. At the end of the day, what impacts the most the value of Bitcoin, as for most of the companies, is the demand of people that wants to buy it. If you have an excellent company with super strong financial fundamentals but that is unknown by most investors, well, it might not be able to perform as well as a company like Tesla a few years ago that was far from being profitable. The difference in that case is that with Tesla, they've been able to cut the attention of the investors for what they were proposing and for the value that they were going to be able to achieve in the future. And so it made that the investors back a few years ago were investing in Tesla not for its current value but for its future value. This is pretty much what is the case with the Bitcoin at the moment. Indeed, even if this new digital gold is yet to be a digital asset that will be used in our daily life to make different transactions, well, many people believe that in the future this decentralized crypto could become a way for us to make different transactions worldwide. It is notably why over the last 5 years we've seen that this crypto has gained over 1,600% of gain despite all the critics of the analysts. And also another interesting aspect of Bitcoin is that it is acting as in cycles. In fact, if you take a close look to its lifetime chart, you can see that the Bitcoin acts as a 4-year cycle. In their case, this 4-year cycle is known to be a 3 years of uptrend followed by 1 year of downtrend known as a bear market. And so after seeing a pretty important bear market during 2022, we've seen that since 2023, the Bitcoin value has restarted to grow pretty fast. And the great news is that it is currently standing at its all-time high. So what are the experts' predictions when it comes to the future of the value of Bitcoin? Now that the Bitcoin has shattered the ceiling of the $65,000, well, the analysts are predicting that Bitcoin will reach a valuation of $100,000 per coin at the end of 2024 or at the beginning of 2025. And so according to the 4 years rule with the Bitcoin, we could expect that it would enter in a bear market throughout 2025. And so it wouldn't be surprising that after reaching over $100,000 of valuation, we see the Bitcoin correcting just after it. But obviously, all of these predictions are hypotheses because we never know what could happen with this type of asset class. The only thing that we are sure is that for Bitcoin, as for all the other cryptocurrencies, they are way more volatile than the overall market. And so make sure that you are able to see some massive gain of over 200% as some massive decrease of over 80% of your total value. On my side personally, I have less than 5% of my total assets that is invest in different cryptos such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And personally, the best cryptocurrency exchange that I am currently using is called ShakePay. The beauty of this exchange is that while I'm able to trade different cryptos on it, at the same time, I'm able to earn free Bitcoin every single day only by shaking my phone. And so on your side, if you're looking to earn a certain fraction of Bitcoin every day by shaking your phone, make sure to check out the links in the bio of this video. And if you're looking to find another great way for you to invest in the stock market to make your capital grow as much as possible in the long term, well, check out the video that's gonna be right over here and I will see you soon. Peace!